What is going on, bro? Welcome to the video. And a quick question for you. Would you say that I'm a charismatic person? And if this is your first time watching the channel, well, welcome. Based on the last 10 seconds, would you say that I'm a charismatic guy? Yes or no? You got to make a call. You know, it's funny because I've always considered my social skills my weakest link. And I always kind of hoped that by building up my body and my money, that would cover up the weaker social skills. But honestly, I don't think that I would have gotten here if I hadn't developed some level of charisma. And when I say that, I mean, if I hadn't been able to learn like 4 or 5 very specific social skills that at least make me appear charismatic, because I'm still not sure that I consider myself to be charismatic. That being said, before we hop into the specific skills, one thing that's definitely helped me create the illusion of charisma is having a signature style. Like right now, for example, I'm just wearing a t-shirt and joggers, but I do it in a way that feels unique and different than what a normal t-shirt and joggers would look like. And the good news for you is this exact t-shirt and joggers just dropped today as part of the new Element collection from Edge Lifestyle. This collection has everything you need: joggers, hoodie, t-shirt, and tank, built to keep you warm and looking sharp this season. And what makes it different is that every piece is made from our signature Element cotton blend. Insanely soft, and it has this weight to it that just gives it this premium luxury feel you don't get with other brands. The joggers are designed with a classic fit that shapes your legs and stays in place all day long with elastic ankle cuffs. And the hoodie is sleek and functional, featuring a hidden tech zipper pocket for secure storage, and the fit, absolutely perfect. The Element tee has a classic fit that complements the joggers effortlessly for an all-day clean look. And the Element tank is the ultimate winter gym piece. Shows off your gains and pairs perfectly with the joggers. And by popular demands, we also restocked our casual chinos. These have a classic fit that gives that old money vibe, and they're just extremely soft and stretchy for all-day comfort. This is a limited release though, so it's gonna sell out quick. You can use my coupon code to save 10% off your entire order. Just click that first link in description or go to edgelifestyle.com to shop now and take your style to the next level. All right, the first skill you gotta master is asking unique questions. Because when I ask you a question, it kind of forces you to engage in the conversation, but not if it's an expected question. So if your typical questions are, hey, how was your weekend? What do you do for work? How are you doing today? That's not gonna cut it. Because when I hear these things, I just have some basic impulse response. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah, my weekend was good. How was yours? It's not really engaging me. It's boring. So the fastest way to fix this so people are always locked in on you when you're talking is to have some go-to conversation starters and then also some go-to questions for specific scenarios. So an easy conversation starter could be, okay, tell me, what has the best and worst part of your week been so far? If someone asks me that, I'm starting to roll through the week in my head because I want to have a good answer to tell them, you know? Now, if I'm on a date with a girl, a unique question could be, all right, tell me, what are 3 things you find really sexy in a guy? You can't say his looks though. Not only is this gonna make the conversation more romantic instantly, but it almost turns into this playful challenge where she's gotta think and almost try and impress you. Because I do this a lot, I could come up with these all day. If I'm talking to a random guy I just met, I could say, what are 3 things you really regret from last year that you're gonna do differently this year? Trust me, bro, try this later today in your next conversation and you're gonna see people's face light up as they realize, oh shit, I actually gotta think about that. All right, this next one is all about using open loops. And basically how this works is I'll mention something that's really juicy and needs an explanation, but I just kind of glaze over it. So maybe someone's talking about how they want to travel to South America. I could be like, yeah, I was actually in Colombia, in Medellin a few years ago, and I almost died. But wait, where are you thinking about going though, bro? You see, you can't help yourself but think, David, what? You can't just glaze past that. Tell me what went down in Colombia. I need to know. Open loops work because our brains hate unanswered questions. Our brains want to solve mysteries. Challenge yourself to start looking for these opportunities in conversation. At first, it's going to feel odd, but it starts to get more natural. Maybe someone's telling me about a weird experience they had at the gym. I could be like, yo, don't even get me started. I saw the wildest shit in my gym last night. But what happened to your story? The key to really making this hit and not come off as awkward is to genuinely shift the focus of the conversation back to the other person, and not to kind of say you're open loop and then wait for them to ask about it. That's just weird. Now, speaking of hooking people, that's what the next skill is all about. You have to start your conversations and your stories with a strong hook. I've realized there's not much middle ground in conversations. Either I'm engaged and I'm present with the person, or my brain is somewhere else and I'm just not really there. And if that's how people feel when they talk to you, they're never gonna see you as charismatic or confident. They're gonna be trying to avoid talking to you. That's why before I go into a conversation, I try and have that hook in mind. Everything from there is gonna flow naturally. I don't have to think about it, but maybe I'm about to hang out with some friends and I got a story I wanna tell them. I might come in and say, man, y'all are gonna think I'm a terrible friend for this, but check this out. Or maybe, guys, I did something ridiculous last night and I'm probably gonna regret it, but I think it was worth it. When you start with the bold statement, people can't help themselves. They need to know. And maybe last night, all I did was I went and got a nice massage that relaxed me. And then after that, I got a pizza. For the first time, I put pineapple on the pizza, bro. What? Even if it's not a wild story after that, like the emotional state has already been set and people are gonna be hooked in. Bro, this is why when I start a conversation with a girl I don't know, I almost always use those same 5 words. Hey, I know this is random, but it immediately spikes her curiosity. Why is this guy talking to me? What's so random? Now she wants to hear the next thing you have to say, versus if you go up and say, hey, you're so cute and I wanted to say hi. It might work sometimes, but a lot of times girls are gonna have that impulse of getting defensive and shutting down. Versus if I just say, hey, I know this is super random, but, and even intentionally pause for a second there to let the curiosity build. I saw you when I was working out over there, and if I didn't come over and say hi, I'd be kicking myself the rest of the day. Before you intentionally start new conversations, always have a strong hook in mind. Even if you're just asking someone for an opinion, don't say, hey, can I get your opinion on this? Say, man, this is really important, and I might have messed up, but let me know what you think. Can I get your opinion on this? Because now they're curious. They're gonna be locked in, and you're gonna have 1000% of their undivided attention. Now, the harsh reality is that as you're experimenting with new things in conversation and taking social risks, inevitably, you're gonna fuck up and say something stupid sometimes. And that's number 4. You have to let the mistakes go. Maybe I'm talking to a girl and there's this long, awkward silence where I can't think of the next thing to say. Maybe I tell a story and it doesn't hit. I don't tell it right, and the other person or people are kind of disengaged and it gets weird for a second. These things are gonna happen, bro. And if they're not happening for you, it's because you're not taking any risks. You're not making any moves with your dating life or your career. And when they do happen, the most crucial thing is how you respond afterwards. Because this is the difference between getting stuck in your head and feeling like the loser versus actually using it as an advantage to prove that charisma and show that confidence. The biggest thing you have to avoid is apologizing and being like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was a good story. Or just trying to explain yourself and be like, well, like you didn't explain, you didn't understand the story, guys, because of this. Instead, this is what I do. I take a deep breath and I just give the conversation a little breathing room for a minute. If you're talking to a girl, almost always, she's gonna rush to fill that silence and then the problem's gone. The conversation moves forward. If I'm with a group of guys, they might give me some shit and be like, really, David? Cool story, bro. And then I'm just gonna own it and be like, yeah, screw you guys. It was a cool story. The point is just take the hit, take the L and move forward. Don't kind of carry it on your shoulder the rest of the conversation feeling like you lost, because you won. You took a conversational risk and that's a W. Now this next one, I don't understand why people never do this, because it's a game changer. It feels good to do and other people react so positively. Number 5, hype them up. Human nature is just to be so insecure and always to be thinking like, oh, is this guy better than me? No, maybe I'm better than him. And we get stuck in this dick measuring competition. Girls do it too. They're not measuring that, but they're still doing the same thing, right? And that creates this massive opportunity in the market, in the social market, because when everyone's going left, If you can go right, it's gonna make you stand out. And the way you do this is simply by shining the spotlight on other people. The key is just to do it in a genuine way. You know, I have a friend who tells these really engaging stories. So whenever he's about to tell a story, I'm like, shh, everybody listen up. The homie Greg's about to tell a story and no one can match his storytelling. Or I got another friend, Matt, who whenever we're traveling, he's always negotiating with the locals. Like when we were down in Mexico for my bachelor party, and I'm always like, man, let Matt handle the negotiations. He's a G here. Or my friend Joe in Houston, something about Joe. I'll tell you, if someone's talking some smack to him, I'm gonna say, bro, Joe, he's gonna call you out on everything. He's not gonna let it slide. And whenever someone around you wins, lift them up and celebrate that win for them. I got a friend who started going to the gym finally. It's like, hell yeah, bro. You're gonna be jacked before you know it. Let's get it, man. Not only does this genuinely make other people feel better about themselves, which is just a good thing to do as a human being, but it's gonna make them like you more as a result as well. It's a win-win. There's no loss here. It's just a positive, effective strategy for life, bro. And then other people, naturally, they're gonna wanna see you win. And if there's a way for them to help you out, they're always gonna do it. Not to mention, it literally proves that you're not intimidated or threatened by other people's strengths. And that's different, man. That's refreshing. Now look, I also got 2 quick bonus tips for you that just came to mind. Number 1, be overly specific. Most guys make the mistake of communicating efficiently, which is great if you're writing an email to your boss or writing a prompt for ChatGPT. But if you're talking to a fucking human, it helps to add detail. So instead of saying, man, I had a crazy workout last night, I could say, bro, have you ever seen that machine at the gym? It almost looks like this medieval torture device for your quads. Whew. I hit that thing last night, and you might have to pull me off of this couch right now. Or maybe someone's talking about a flight they got coming up or some food they just ate. I might say, yo, the crazy thing about flying first class is that they always have these weird concoctions of food. Last time I was flying, it was like these weird fish flakes that had this jalapeno polenta next to it and some type of curry sauce on the side. Honestly, it didn't taste very good. It looks crazy though. We were going to Germany with Lufthansa. Especially when you're telling stories, these crazy details, they force people to visualize what you're talking about. And now if I'm visualizing what you're talking about, I'm all in. That's charisma, when people are all in on your stories. Bonus tip 2, strategically interrupt people. Now, of course, no one likes the guy that's constantly interrupting and he just feels like he always has to be the center of attention. That's the annoying guy that you try and leave out of the plans when you're making plans. But when you strategically interrupt people when they're not expecting it, it keeps people on their toes around you. They know they can't mess around. So if someone says something I don't really agree with and they're still talking, I might be like, hold up a second, man. What did you just say? You see, that's a lot more impactful than letting them finish and then being like, well, 3.5 minutes ago when you were talking about electric vehicles, I had a small disagreement with what you were talking about. The key is to commit, not to be like, hey, hold up. And then they keep talking and you're like, oh, okay. The key is to commit. Now, hold up. Yo, hold up, bro, a second. And then also to be playful as you do it. When you interrupt someone, they may already be a little bit on the defense. So if you're doing this with a smile on your face and in a playful tone, even if you're disagreeing with them, now it leads to a much more memorable interaction. People are not going to forget you. None of these things are going to work, though, if you don't take risks and experiment with them. I'll put them on the screen quickly here. Write down 2 of them right now in your phone that you're going to use later on today. That being said, do not sleep on the new Edge collection or it will be gone and you'll be sending me an email asking when it's restocking. Link in description to shop now. And if you're serious about taking your life to the next level this year, you need to watch this video next. It is about 10 things that men must quit in 2025. Click there to watch that now and I'll talk to you in the next video. Stay beastly.